Thank you for joining with me. We are picking up in the prelude. We are on the musical forms section, and I am on page 6. There is a wonderful story told by Hector Berlioz, an accomplished French composer of the 19th century and a great lover of his German forebearer. He spoke of a man who was so overwhelmed by a performance of the Fifth Symphony that at the end he could not find his head to put his hat on. There is another story about Berlioz himself attending a Beethoven symphony, although it is unclear if it is the fifth. In the midst of the performance, he was sobbing, and his friend said to him, "Don't you think you should leave?" Berlioz grabbed him and disdainfully said, as only a Frenchman could, "What makes you think I am here to enjoy myself?" Indeed, one does not enjoy a Beethoven symphony or any of his great works any more than one would enjoy the course's text. This is not an enjoyable read, for it is meant to upset us. And just as Beethoven plumbed the depths of his own psyche and that of mankind to emerge triumphant at the end, so we are asked to follow Jesus through his symphony to its glorious end. Another aspect of music that makes it difficult and challenging is that unlike reading a book or looking at a painting, one needs an interpreter. There are few people, most of them professional musicians, who could actually hear the notes when they look at a musical score. Almost all of us have to hear the work performed. The instrumentalist or conductor are thus extremely important because they become, in effect, the mediator between us and the composer's genius. But if you have an interpreter who is not up to the task, you will lose something. That is why, if I may briefly digress, it is so important if you are listening to Beethoven, for example, that you listen to a conductor whose soul is at one with the composer's, so that you know the music you are hearing is the way Beethoven himself heard it with his inner ear. The Bible of almost all modern conductors has been an essay of Wagner called On Conducting. It is one of the very few of Wagner's prose writings that is worth anything. His lengthy musical compositions are often magnificent, but his verbose prose, he wrote endlessly, was rather tendentious and vituperative, for he did not like most people except those who admired or worshipped him. However, he did write this gem of an essay which became the model for a new school of conducting. In typical Wagnerian fashion, he reprimanded the conductors of his day for merely conducting the notes, just keeping time. People are missing the heart of the work, he said in effect, using the Greek word melos to describe this heart, roughly translated as melody. Wagner spoke about the soul of the music, its content, not the notes, the form. A conductor, he said, and he actually spoke a great deal about the Fifth Symphony, must really understand the work's melos. When this real meaning of the work is understood, each of the separate parts falls logically and naturally into place. The problem with most conductors is that while they conduct all the notes, and many do so brilliantly, they lose the breadth of the piece. They simply conduct one passage after another with no organic connection between them, and the heart is absent. One of the rare musicians who conducted the melos of music was the German conductor Wilhelm Furtwängler. I have no idea. a wonderful exponent of Beethoven, incidentally. When you listen to his live performances, fortunately a great many of these were recorded, you are in the presence of a living experience. I must check that out. The organic unity I mentioned above, it is as if you are no longer listening to music, but to something that transcends it. The notes transmute into the love that is the source of all great art, as it is the source of A Course in Miracles. Amen. Another way of conveying the same point is that most conductors do not come before great masterpieces of music with a sense of humility. It is almost as if they feel they have reached the pinnacle when they have mastered the technique of their craft and have finally honed their orchestra so that the musicians obey their every bidding. Yet there remains a sterile quality to their work. This is not what you want to have happen in this course, whether you are studying it, teaching it, or doing both. No kidding. That's why I keep on, because it's awesome. It's not like that. You want to come before it with a sense of humility, the same humility with which a conductor should come before the works of Beethoven, Mozart, or Bach. To cite another artistic modality, when one stands in awe before a Michelangelo statue, one is aware of how this Renaissance master transcended form, as in his magnificent David, so perfect that it transcends the body. One should approach A Course in Miracles with that same sense of wonder and humility, that one is in the presence of something greater than oneself. A section in the Course is called Littleness versus Magnitude, and we need ask for help to go from the ego's littleness to identifying with the glorious magnitude of who we are as the Christ. We can certainly benefit from the Course without this attitude, seeing it as just another text or path on the contemporary spiritual landscape. But we will almost surely fail to plumb its depths. I'm going to stop there today because this section is very long, and we will pick up there tomorrow. And my dogs are getting louder. I love you. Thank you for joining with me. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.